Welcome, everyone. I am Southern Belle 74, and this is Unsolved Missing and a Broken Justice System. I hope you guys have had a wonderful Mother's Day weekend. Shout out to all the mothers. We're going to start after the disclaimer.
This week's 48 Hours investigates the disappearance of a Florida woman after text from her cell phone raised suspicions early in the pandemic. Friends and family of Gretchen Anthony were stunned after receiving messages claiming that she had a serious case of the coronavirus and was at a local hospital. But when they tried to call her, she never responded. Police went to her home for a wellness check and found signs of a struggle there. 48 Hours correspondent Peter Van Sant takes us inside the search for Gretchen Anthony.
On the morning of March 23rd, 2020, friends and family of Gretchen Anthony started receiving disturbing texts.
Gretchen Anthony starts to send text messages stating that she has been diagnosed with the coronavirus.
Crochet Mixon, an assistant state's attorney for Palm Beach County, says the texts described Gretchen's worsening symptoms. "I'm really sick," says one. And in another, "I am on a ventilator."
The family finds the text messages that they're getting from Gretchen to be worrisome, alarming.
But Kelly Hanna says her friend Gretchen was the picture of good health.
She worked out at the gym very hard. She took her health very seriously.
Mixon says friends and family became distraught when they couldn't reach her.
She never answered her phone.
It would go to voicemail.
Yes.
So they asked police to do a check on Gretchen's home, where a neighbor told them she heard something terrifying.
I heard a really serious woman scream, like just screaming, like she was being attacked.
Investigators became even more alarmed when they couldn't reach her estranged husband, fitness trainer David Anthony.
Neither one can be found.
Police learned Gretchen wasn't in the hospital with COVID, so they searched her home for clues and found signs of a struggle. And they noticed security cameras had been removed from the walls. They asked Gretchen's service provider to pull the video from the cloud. The images showed a man lurking on Gretchen's patio the morning the neighbor heard the screams.
There comes a point where this person that we see grab Gretchen, muffle her screams, and take her into the garage. This person looks up at the camera.
And what do you see?
We see David Anthony looking up into the camera.
Oh boy, Peter Van Sant joins us now. Peter, who do police believe was sending those text messages from Gretchen's phone?
Well, since Gretchen was missing and she wasn't making any calls, particularly to her daughter, they immediately looked toward the estranged husband, David Anthony, who also couldn't be found and was presumed to be on the run.
The home security camera footage seems like a pretty big deal to me, but I'm not a lawyer. How crucial was that to the police and their investigation?
Absolutely crucial. It puts David Anthony in that house the day of her death. You see the two of them on video together, so it's absolutely crucial. And in all my years at 48 Hours, I have never had so much police and security camera video in an hour. We take viewers moment by moment through this investigation. You see questioning of people, and you see the arrest, and of course you see video from the victim's home, which is something that's extremely rare.
But just the fact, though, Peter, that he was using COVID as an excuse, allegedly, if it is the husband, a lot of thought goes into that. And March 23rd, 2020, that's when the epidemic was, that's when the shutdown was really just beginning.
Yes, I was sick myself with COVID back then. I was a bit frightened by what was going on. And the idea was, I'm sending a text. We were all confused by this mysterious disease. I'm going to be in this facility. I won't be able to see anyone for 2 weeks. Police believe that gave David Anthony time to make his run. He was headed for Costa Rica.
Oh, boy. All right, Peter Van Sant, thank you very much. And you can see Peter's report, The COVID Cover-Up, searching for Gretchen Anthony on 48 Hours tomorrow night at 10, 9 Central, right here on CBS.
Wilmington, Illinois is the quintessential American small town.
They were a wonderful family. They were living the dream, and it all just shattered.
Will you do a dance?
Yeah.
All right.
Kevin Fox is your all-American guy.
Melissa and Kevin went to high school together.
They were high school sweethearts.
We were still dating when God made plans for us, and we had Tyler. And then we got married when he was 3 and had Riley a year after that. He was just such a loving, doting father.
I feel like that's what I was put on this earth to do, honestly. That's my joy in life.
Riley.
He had an especially close relationship with Riley. The two of them were inseparable.
Watch where you're going.
The weekend of June 5th is a turning point in the lives of the Fox family. Mom goes out of town on a breast cancer walk.
Kevin and my brother Tony were going to go to a concert, and my mom had the kids.
1 a.m., he picks the kids up, brings them home. It's late, so he puts them down in the living room.
Watched TV, and then I went to bed myself.
And what's the next thing that you remember?
Tyler waking me up and said that Riley was gone.
He gets up. He starts looking frantically all over the house. He thinks that she may be hiding somewhere. He looks in closets. He runs outside.
So then I started panicking.
He decides to call the Wilmington Police Department.
After about 30 or 40 minutes, he calls to say that he can't find his child.
When police showed up, one of the first things Kevin mentioned was the front door, which he remembered having, he thought, closed and locked the night before, and when he got up that morning, that door was open.
The police stated they found no sign of forcible entry.
Kevin told the investigators that the lock on the back door was broken.
Kevin's wife, Melissa, is still at the Cancer Walk in Chicago.
I decided to call Kevin. He sounded so startled. I knew immediately something was wrong. He just said, "Riley's gone."
On this day, a lot is happening. Not only does Riley Fox go missing, but the police are responding to a burglary on the very same block.
There is a neighbor literally across the street from Kevin. She had a section of her screen cut out. The door was unlocked.
She felt that someone had broken into her house.
You gotta wonder, are these things connected?
Police and the community mounted a massive manhunt.
3-year-old Riley Fox's drowned body was found in a creek about 4 miles from her home.
Forsyth Woods and Forked Creek suddenly become ground zero for this investigation, and the Will County Sheriff's Department is tasked with leading the investigation.
There was a log jam further downstream. That's the location where I found the shoe.
A little while later, they come across a matching sneaker.
They take the tennis shoes, put them in evidence, and that was the end of it.
And here's the thing. There's actually something written in the tongue of the shoe. The letters E-B-Y.
They never looked at those shoes.
The child was held under the water.
Her mouth taped shut.
The forensic examination revealed that Riley Fox was alive at the time she entered the creek. Additionally, the autopsy revealed that Riley Fox suffered non-lethal head injuries and that a sexual assault had taken place.
They did a rape kit, and they did test for blood, bodily fluids not belonging to Riley.
There were about 20 items that were eventually sent to the FBI for forensic testing. The problem was there was this enormous backlog at Quantico.
The funeral services were held at St. Rose Catholic Church. 6,000 people showed up.
Within an hour of the funeral ending, police came to my house and they asked if there was any reason that I would believe Kevin to be capable of doing something like this. And before the question even came out of their mouth, my answer was no.
I said, would you please talk to an attorney? No obligation.
Chad felt that the police were focusing on Kevin. They kept dropping by the house.
Kevin and I were like, we're fine. What do we need an attorney for?
It had been 4.5 months since Riley Fox disappeared when police say they have a development.
It's the evening. Kevin's been working since 4:30 that morning. They go down to the police station.
They took her down a hallway, and they took me. It was like a room up on a stage. You walk up the stairs, and then it was real small room.
They have the capacity to videotape the entire interrogation, but they don't.
And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, he looked at me and said, "We have reason to believe that you killed Riley." I stood up and started pointing at his face, saying, "You know I didn't do this."
Kevin says detectives then offer him a lie detector test. And he says one of the things they tell him is that this test could actually prove that he wasn't involved in his daughter's death.
Now, this is a commonly used ruse during police interrogation. Get the suspect to take a lie detector test, then tell them they failed it. as part of that process of breaking them down, of making them feel hopeless.
I was just shocked. I couldn't have failed it.
The Will County Sheriff's Office says that Kevin's account of this interrogation is exaggerated, that it's not accurate.
Kevin says the police came to him during his interrogation and said, look, either you're this cold-blooded baby killer, in which case it's life in prison, or if you tell us that this was a result of some accident, things will be easier for you. That's how they get Kevin talking. Just tell us about an accident.
So keep in mind, he'd been up since 4:30 that morning. He'd gone to work. Now he's in the middle of this 14-hour interrogation, and he confesses to it.
Police construct a theory that he adopts, in which Riley is killed accidentally, and he then stages it to look like a murder.
He says, I thought everybody would see it as crazy. He said, I really thought that they would understand that this couldn't possibly have happened.
Did you have anything to do with the death of your daughter?
Not at all. Not at all.
A lot of people will want to know, if you didn't kill Riley, how do you possibly confess to it?
Say you were trapped in a burning room, and there was only one door, and the fire was just flaming around you.
So you looked at this as your only way out?
It was my only way out.
He gets arrested. He gets taken to the Will County Jail and booked. The second he's arrested, Chad goes in, the older brother, and retains Kathleen Zellner as his attorney.
Kathleen Zellner is one of the best criminal defense attorneys in the country.
We will see them in court.
Part of Zellner's great success comes from her ability to work with DNA evidence.
Kathleen Zellner is worried Kevin's confession will be enough to convince a jury to convict him. She believes the only way to avoid a guilty verdict is through DNA.
While Zellner's team continued to try to poke holes in the story offered by investigators, Zellner discovered that there actually was DNA evidence.
DNA evidence was available in the murder of Riley Fox last June, but it required sophisticated testing.
After that DNA evidence was sent out to a private lab.
Test results arrived last night. The DNA did not match Kevin Fox's.
They came back and said, this is not his DNA. We can't tell you whose it is, but we can tell you it's not his.
Kevin Fox is free after prosecutors concede there is now considerable doubt about his guilt.
Prosecutors dropped all charges against the Wilmington father.
If you want to take away one thought in this case is do the test before you make the arrest.
Kevin Fox is ruled out. This is a game changer. Now you have to refocus this investigation. The DNA proves that you didn't do it. But then the question becomes, who did?
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.
Story now at 4. A mother of 6 dead after running off the road and into a rain-swollen creek. CBS 46's Megan Packer spent the day speaking with the woman's family. She joins us live in Douglas County. And Megan, this story just heartbreaking.
It really is. This family's so upset right now. Tracy, we're at the convenience store where Amanda Lindley works. She was on her way here to work in the deli like she does every day. Yesterday morning when she did not show up, her family knew something was wrong and they started looking for her. We spent the day with many of her relatives today as they returned to the scene on Friendship Church Road just over the county line in Paulding County. 36-year-old Lindley's car was found submerged in Sweetwater Creek. Her family says she left for work shortly before 4 a.m. yesterday, and it was about 12 hours later They discovered part of her car in the water after they had reported her missing. Divers recovered the car and Lindley's body from the water last night. Her family and a Georgia State Patrol crash report says the road was underwater from the overflowing creek.
Her smile, I mean, she could light up a room with her smile. She absolutely could. Amanda was one of those people that walked in the room. It didn't matter what kind of mood you were in. She walked in the room and she could cheer you up.
And again, she leaves behind a big family, including 6 children and a grandchild. The Paulding County Sheriff's Office tells us they do not suspect foul play right now. An autopsy will be conducted to determine a cause of death. Much more on this developing story in our 5 and 6 o'clock hours. Live in Douglas County, I'm Megan Packer, CBS 46 News.
Megan, thank you. And tonight, the family of Saniyya Dennis is pleading for more help as the search for the missing Buffalo State student enters its 10th day. Dennis has not been seen since April 24th. Investigators are now trying to figure out exactly where she went that night after leaving her dorm. And surveillance video could be the key to this investigation. That's why Dennis's father is asking businesses and neighbors to step up and offer anything they have that might help them track down the missing 19-year-old. Tonight, the father speaking only with 7 Eyewitness News anchor Katie Morse about the ongoing search, his frustration with police, and why he believes Saniyya may have gone to Niagara Falls to meet with someone.
We're not going to lose hope. But it gets harder every day.
10 days since the disappearance of his daughter, Saniyya Dennis, her father, Calvin Bird, says his family is searching nonstop for answers.
I turned into how you say, an unofficial detective. I go with a team and we go search various parts of the park.
Saniyya was last seen on surveillance footage leaving Buffalo State College April 24th. I sat down with her father Tuesday morning, who says police believe she took an NFTA bus to Niagara Falls, then walked to Niagara Falls State Park. Bird says he's seen grainy surveillance video of a person police believe is Saniyya because of her clothing in the area. Her family's now asking any local businesses with cameras to check them.
On Old Falls, if you have a camera and you know that it was on last week, please just submit the footage. We need all the help we can get.
Bird says the person police believe is Saniyya was walking alone in the video he's seen.
I believe in my heart that she went to go meet up with someone because she took the last bus to Niagara Falls Park. The only way off the park is either an Uber or call a friend. She never gave me or her moms an indication that she had boy trouble, that she wanted to run away, that she had mental something wrong. None of those indications. If it was, we would be more mindful that these things happen. We're more baffled that how did you disappear? How?
He also says he's not happy with the way the investigation is being handled. University police at Buffalo State College took the lead when Saniyya first disappeared. Bird says he means no disrespect, but he doesn't think that small department is equipped to handle this case.
Imagine your child trusting in the hands of someone that's never had a case of this magnitude, but I guess let me try my hand at doing this. This is not one of those things. You know, this lost and found items, little disputes or something. That's a missing child. I don't think that's past your criteria.
Every day, Bird says search groups are meeting at noon and 6 p.m. to look for any signs of Saniyya. He's planning to keep his search going until something turns up.
It's hard. I'm not going to lose hope.
Bird is asking anyone who follows the story to post about it and talk about it. He's hoping somehow some connections can be made to help him find his daughter, who seems to have disappeared. Katie Morse, 7 Eyewitness News.
We start with the heartbreaking developments tonight in the search for Saniyya Dennis. The 19-year-old Buffalo State College student has been missing now for nearly 2 weeks. And new today, the Erie County District Attorney, who had just joined the investigation, now says there's evidence to suggest Dennis likely died by suicide. Tonight, we will be hearing from the experts on mental health and exploring the help available. But first, the new information on this case. And we want to warn you, the details of this new evidence can be triggering for some people. 7 Eyewitness News reporter Olivia Proya is live tonight at Buffalo State College. Olivia?
Ashley, Erie County District Attorney John Flynn says phone conversations and text messages have led investigators to believe that 19-year-old Saniyya Dennis has taken her own life shortly after leaving her dorm room on Buffalo State campus. District Attorney John Flynn says Saturday around noon, 19-year-old Saniyya Dennis and her New York City boyfriend got into an argument. At the end of the conversation, he broke up with Saniyya. Flynn says Saniyya next spoke with a male friend in the New York City area about the breakup. Then Flynn says shortly after 1 o'clock, Saniyya called her now ex-boyfriend 59 times over the span of an hour.
He does not respond to any of the phone calls, does not pick up at all. At some point, they start texting, though. He tells her to stop calling or he will block her phone.
Flynn says she sent texts to her ex-boyfriend saying, "I'm not feeling good. Please pick up. I think I'm going to kill myself. Then, I'm so done with my own life. I've had enough." No response. Flynn says over the next few hours, she continues to talk to her male friend in the New York City area.
She confides in this friend that she is planning on killing herself. She states to him, and we know this to be true, that she was recently had some mental health issues.
Flynn says the male friend had reached out to NYPD, but then told NYPD he thought Saniyya had reconsidered. Shortly after, Saniyya and this male friend talked on the phone for 4 hours until 10:07 p.m. At 11:02, Saniyya is seen getting on an elevator in her dorm room on Buffalo State's campus. At 11:04 p.m., she is seen outside of her dorm.
She throws away personal items that would lead someone to believe that she was not returning to the dorm.
Flynn says over the next hour, Saniyya is observed traveling to Niagara Falls alone via bus on NFTA cameras, getting off at First in Rainbow at 12:07 a.m. At 12:10 a.m., Flynn says she texted her mother saying, "I'm sorry I missed your call. I love you. I'll call you tomorrow." And at 12:15, she texts her male friend.
She says, "I'm really glad we talked today. I'll forever treasure it. But I'm sorry I lied. I will not be joining you this summer, at least physically. Thank you for making my day special."
Flynn says she is then picked up by Park State Police cameras walking towards Goat Island.
That is the last time that she is seen on video.
Flynn says she speaks with her male friend again, in which she says she will take a bus home. She then posts a Snapchat story of the falls and texts her male friend that she is on a bus going home. At 1:23 a.m., Flynn says he responds saying okay and is relieved.
At that point, 1:23 a.m., her cell phone leaves the cellular network.
Flynn says neither Saniyya's ex-boyfriend or male friend reported any of this information until the DA's office contacted them over the weekend. Flynn says law enforcement and search parties have been searching for Saniyya for days, using helicopters, drones, and dogs.
They took the dogs over the railing, along with these guys. They went over the railing. Here, walking on this little area right here. That's how concerned this community is about this girl. Walking right here. And the dogs stop right there.
Flynn says law enforcement will continue to search for Saniyya.
we may never find a body. I mean, that's a possibility.
District Attorney Flynn says he spoke with Saniyya's family last night and acknowledges that they may never find a body, although he says investigators will continue to search. Live in Buffalo, Olivia Proya, 7 Eyewitness News.
Such a sad, sad ending. Thank you for your reporting tonight, Olivia.
Okay, guys, that was such a sad and disturbing story. It just makes you wonder what was going through her mind at those last moments. I just think anytime when it comes to suicide, that people, I wish they would not react in the moment and actually, take some time and think about, reflect on their lives. Oftentimes when it does happen, it's done like without thinking. It's real quick. So it's just like, oh my gosh, they're not having enough time to rationalize and really think things through. There are people out there that love you. It is really, really sad. And I hope that she knew that she was loved. I often wonder, because a lot of times people feel like nobody cares about them, nobody wants them, but you're always loved and cared for by somebody. You know, it's truly sad. It just really, really broke my heart when that came out because I'm like, oh my gosh, she was so young. In fact, she's a second young lady. I did another story. What was her name? I think it was Corey Gaucher. I did her story, and she was another promising college student. Hers came out of Louisiana, and they apparently said that she also committed suicide. It's alleged that she also jumped off a bridge. I'm like, what's wrong with these young people taking their lives? I mean, they're just in the prime of their lives. So it just brings more awareness to suicide prevention, and I'd like to put this out to anybody who is feeling like they're in a place where they just feel like they can't go on. Please reach out for help. There are so many agencies that can help you. Even if you don't feel like you can talk to your family and your close relatives, call one of those hotline numbers and get some help. Your life has value. It really does. It's just so sad. Okay, guys, we're going to move on. For those of you like me, who I love to watch the Kentucky Derby every year, and with COVID, they really put a lot of restrictions on it. I just made a quick little video highlighting some of the hats I love, the beautiful and amazing hats that you see at the Kentucky Derby. So we're going to watch this, and then I'm going to close out with my affirmation, and then it's going to be a wrap. Okay, guys, we're going to do my daily affirmation. This is something I tell myself to encourage myself. Remember that self-love is the best love. If you don't love yourself, how can you love anybody else? I am gifted. I am talented. I am beautiful. I am enough. Please take that with you everywhere you go. Special shout out to Mrs. Shaquila Dixon. She is the most amazing moderator you could ask for. I am so grateful to have you mod for me, and I thank you for everything that you do. All right, guys, please tune in next week. We'll have my hot topic of the day, and we'll just keep on going. When the news comes out, I'll try to get it to you as fast as I can. Take care and have a wonderful week.